Welcome to the Kingdom Culture Podcast that was created on purpose with a purpose to empower, uplift, and guide others to the center of God's perfect will. Kingdom Culture family, welcome back to the Kingdom Culture Podcast. This week we're going to talk about self-kindness and compassion. So for me, growing up, it was really hard to put myself in a situation where I'm like, hey, you know what? You messed up and I'm proud of you. You messed up and it's okay. You messed up. You made a mistake. Make sure that you learn from it. And that was because I was always seeking for approval from my friends, my family, my parents, my boyfriends. And I actually also allowed other people to talk to me how I used to talk to myself, right? And, with that, recently, going through my mindset mentorship stuff, I've been learning about how to manage my emotions in a positive way, where if I do mess up or I say something I'm not supposed to, or, if I have to accept that I made a mistake, I do it gracefully with compassion and understanding. And I'm also setting boundaries for myself. That's something else that I had a really hard time with. Telling somebody like, hey, you know what? I don't like that you do that. I don't like that you make me feel this type of way. I don't like how you say that to me. I don't like how you make me feel when, we're having a discussion about a certain topic or we argue or something like that. And it was hard at first because when I first started setting these boundaries for myself through people, I asked myself, I'm like, am I the one that's being a little too crazy? Am I the one that's asking for too much? Am I the one that isn't compassionate enough or understanding enough? And then I came to realize that, no, when you set boundaries, people are not used to, people are going to come back and have a different perspective on it. But you just have to stick to your boundaries because you cannot let go of what you need to please other people. That way, if you live that way, you'll never be happy. So it's been really cool, to have boundaries and be kind to myself and tell myself every day, in the morning, I wake up and I do my morning routine and I'm just like, Abril, the Lord says you are, accepted, loved, wonderfully and beautifully made. It's okay, right? So I'm always trying to cultivate this whole inner love towards myself, because if it was another person, I'd be like, yeah, dude, go and do your thing. Go for yourself. You are so beautiful. You are so full of potential. You have these great, amazing things for you. One mistake shouldn't put a setback in your life. One mistake shouldn't change what you're going after. Be kind to yourself. Or if they do something that's wrong, right? We come back and we say, all right, you know what? It's okay because we're human and we're going to make mistakes and we're going to make people feel some type of way sometimes. But it doesn't define who you are, your comments, your actions. It doesn't define who you are, because tomorrow, 5 minutes from that moment, you can choose to be somebody different. And so it's realizing that we're not robots. We don't have all the answers. And this is an ongoing, growing thing. So it's so cool that I'm now cultivating that for myself and not just for other people, because I did that for so long that I forgot what it was to be self-compassionate to myself, even to myself in my success. You're not far enough. You're not making enough money. You have people that have to depend on you. You have your whole household to, take care of. Why don't you use all these tools that you have to create more income, to create the freedom that you want? So I changed the narrative on that, because before this beautiful thing that I have, the access that I have to the things that I have, the people that I have in my circles, the network that I have, the skills that I'm developing, all of that used to be so stressful because I used to compare myself a lot. And I used to tell myself, you're not far enough. You're not doing enough. And so all of the resting and all of the reflection and all of the, applying what I learned went out the window. So I changed the perspective. Instead of saying you're not, my mindset now is like, how awesome it is that every day you get to choose to study. How awesome it is to, be able to talk to a mentor without feeling like they're going to tell you no. How cool is it that your life 5 years from now is going to be exactly what you want it to be? Because I'm choosing to do those things daily. I'm choosing to go after it now in a different mindset, because now I'm resting. I have time with friends and family. I have, have discovered that not everything is work. There's got to be a balance, right? And so that comes with self-compassion too. So that's why I wanted to talk to you guys about this week. And so let's dive into what it actually is, right? So self-kindness and self-compassion are essential components of overall well-being. They involve treating oneself with the same care, understanding, and support that one would offer to a close friend in times of need. Practicing self-kindness means acknowledging one's own struggles, imperfections, and mistakes without harsh self-judgment or criticism. So like I said, you don't need to talk harshly to yourself. You don't need to say, oops, I messed up again. Oh man, I'm so dumb. Even those small comments will, bring you to a sense of like believing that, you're dumb at some point. Because to be honest, what you tell yourself, what you say, how you look at yourself is how you're going to portray yourself to other people. So always, 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 always be so sure about the words that you're telling yourself. And, make it an effort to do the positive talk every day. Research in psychology has shown that individuals who cultivate self-compassion lead to have better mental health outcomes, including lower levels of anxiety, depression, and stress. This is because self-compassion allows individuals to respond to their own suffering with kindness and understanding, rather than self-criticism and self-blame. I'm a mom, so I self-blame all the time. My son gets hurt. Oh, man, it's my fault. I should have moved that. Or he grabs something that he's not supposed to, and we have to, tell him no or something. Or we have to distract him because he got into something that he shouldn't. As parents, I feel like self-criticism is a big thing. So as I'm learning to use self-compassion and allow myself to make mistakes and allow myself to learn what it means to always have a positive outlook inward, I'm starting to take what happens to my son and make it a positive thing. So, last week he was actually jumping and he fell off our couch. And instead of saying, oh my God, why wasn't I watching him? Why did I walk away from the room? I came back into the room and I said, AB, are you okay? I didn't blame myself for anything. It wasn't my fault. Kids are going to jump. Toddlers, they love to be everywhere. They're going to, get on top of stuff, go outside and get hurt a little bit. And that's okay because they're experiencing the world in their own terms. And so I've taken all of this self-blame and made it so that it's not towards me, it's not towards my son, but it's just the situation. So being able to read the room, being able to read, whatever, it has helped me not have so much mom guilt, not feel the heaviness of me not being around 24/7. Like, it's been so liberating. So take the self-criticism out of it. Parenting is hard. I don't care what anybody tells me. Nobody knows all the answers, and everybody's child is different. Self-compassion helps you understand that you are doing your best. And so this has been amazing to learn because now I don't have the heaviness of like, man, I'm not doing enough for my son. I don't spend enough time with him. We don't do enough stuff together. Is he learning when he needs to? Like, life is a journey. Life is to be enjoyed. Life is to just go day by day, enjoying the little things and being grateful for the stuff that you have. And self-compassion plays a big role on that. Because you are the one making the decisions. You are the one waking up. You are the one, choosing to do things that are either going to help you or not later on. But if you're in a funk or you're in a situation of not feeling worthy enough or not feeling like you can do something, then you need to understand that you have to have self-compassion with yourself first, right? I'm a big person on, you can do it, man. I got you. Like, what do you need? You need prayer? Do you need this? You need that? But for a little bit there, I forgot to do it for myself. I forgot to be the friend that I need to myself. I always say that, you should aim to be the friend that everybody needs. But in reality, you should aim to be the friend that you need. Because if you take care of your heart, of yourself, everybody else around you will see that. Because you'll act different. You'll talk different. You will see yourself differently. So then you'll portray yourself differently to the world, like I said before. So, like I was saying, prioritizing self-kindness and self-compassion, we can cultivate a greater sense of resilience, self-acceptance, and overall happiness in our lives. Because accepting yourself, being 100% on yourself, can sometimes be hard. Accepting the fact that you are not perfect. Accepting the fact that maybe you had this different outlook for what you wanted in your life at this exact moment, but you're not there yet, is huge. For me, so if you guys don't know, if you're new to the podcast, welcome, but I was born premature 7 months. And so there's a lot of health issues with that. But the main one that everybody can notice is the fact that my leg is shorter than the other. My right leg is shorter than my left leg, and so I walk differently. I walk with a limp. It's not like super big where I'm like hunched over or anything else. I can do almost everything. And with therapy and stuff like that, it's really helped to bring my strength back up. But yeah, I walk differently. And I notice if somebody notices. I think that's something that my subconscious is always going to have. But I really had to accept the fact that, you know what? Maybe I'm not going to be able to go mountain climbing. I had to accept the fact that, you know what? Maybe I'm not ever going to be I can't wear high heels because of the difference. So I had to accept the fact that all of these cute shoes that women wear and, all of the cute outfits that I can't wear because it doesn't match. Like, I had to accept the fact that there were certain things that I couldn't do. And I had to accept the fact that I was different. I'm different from my sister. I'm different from my mom. I'm different from my friends. My friends don't have to deal with the stuff that I deal with, pain and, having to make sure that I have the right shoes and having to make sure that I do the therapies. They don't have to deal with any of that. And I had to accept the fact that I had to do a little bit more work to keep myself healthy. And it was hard. Growing up, kids were mean. One thing that I'm always going to remember is I was walking one time and it was in school, and one of my classmates was like, "Hey, did you break your leg or what's wrong?" And I said, no, I'm born like that. And she said, "Born like that? Are you dumb?" So, that moment right there broke me, because obviously I was just in elementary school coming from Mexico, like, what? So I had to accept that I'm different. I had to accept the way that I walk. I had to accept that I have a leg. I'm grateful that I have a leg. I'm grateful that I can work out. I'm grateful that I can run. I'm grateful that I can ride a bike. I am grateful. I am grateful. I am grateful. I had to cultivate that mindset because growing up, it was hard. Growing up, hearing somebody say, "Oh, you gotta go to therapy again?" Like, it could be so hard. So you yourself have to choose the environment that you're gonna cultivate for yourself. The way that you're gonna talk to yourself is so important. Super important. So, how can you cultivate this for yourself? These are the things that I've been focused on right now, but, and I didn't realize that I was doing self-compassion with certain parts of my life, but not all of them, right? So the very first one, I'm always going to tell you this, self-care. Take care of yourself first. Dedicate time each day to engage in activities that promote physical, emotional, and mental well-being. This can include exercise, meditation, journaling, reading a book, taking a bath, or enjoying a hobby. It could be anything that brings you joy. Anything. Cultivate that by doing that daily if you need to. Challenge negative self-talk. Pay attention to your inner dialogue and notice when you're being self-critical and judgmental. Challenge these negative thoughts by asking yourself if they are based on facts or if they are being exaggerated. This is very important because in our minds, one little thing could be super big. Replace negative self-talk with kind and supportive affirmations. Like I said earlier, every morning now I tell myself, God chose me. I am wonderfully and beautifully made. The day's going to be great. Daily affirmations, daily positive affirmations make the difference. And I'm not saying like you have to sit in front of a mirror like this, like you are beautiful, you are best, you are, no. What speaks to your heart? What are the things that you wish you heard when you were growing up? What are the things that you wish somebody told you? Tell those things to yourself. That's why you're seeking it out into other people. My mindset mentor said this a few classes ago, and it was mind-blowing to me. He said that whatever you are seeking out of others, you're actually seeking from yourself. Whatever you are seeking out in others is what you're seeking from yourself. That's crazy. That blew my mind. I was like, what do you mean? So, I sat with a thought and I realized like, wow, you know what? I want to have boundaries. I want people to respect those boundaries. I want to love myself so deeply that I don't have any ounce of negative self-talk to myself. And guess what? Now I'm working on it. That's why, self-development is so important, guys, because you get to realize the things that you're missing and why you might not have joy. And the more that you heal, especially if you've gone through trauma like me, the more that you heal, the more that you focus on that, it's so liberating and you live so, so happy. It's not going to be perfect, but you look at life different. So I encourage you guys to get into this journey of self-development and work for yourself, right? Another one is to practice mindfulness. Cultivate awareness of your thoughts, feelings, and sensations without judgment. Mindfulness can help you observe your inner experiences with greater clarity and respond to them with kindness and compassion. Like I said, you have to spend a lot of time with yourself. A lot of time with yourself because it's necessary. You need it. So, do the work. Do meditation. Sit in a room alone with no noise, with a notepad, and start writing out what you want to hear, what you want to say, how you want to act towards yourself. Because being mindful of where you're at and your emotions and how things make you feel and the triggers that you have is a power changer. Because triggers are normal. Those are the things that let you know that you have to work on something. It's not that you're crazy. It's not that you're oversensitive. They're triggers. They're things that you have to address. And our body, God has made us so cool that our body is able to do that through emotions, thoughts, feelings, even physical pain. So, heal, sit with yourself, and be mindful of the things that you're feeling and why. And like always, right, I always bring God into this because he's the one that changed my life. And the verse for today is actually in Philippians 4, 6 and 7. It says, "Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus." Now, I know that doesn't talk about self-compassion, but it encourages us to bring our worries to God, and concerns in prayer, trusting that his love and care will take care of us and give us a peace. This act of turning to God in times of need can be seen as a form of self-compassion. It involves seeking support and comfort for oneself in God. Additionally, the promise of experiencing God's peace, which surpasses his human understanding, reinforces the idea of finding the inner peace and comfort through acts of self-kindness and reliance on the Lord. For me, prayer is everything. I know that when I'm feeling a little off, I run into prayer. Because God makes the difference. For me, God has made the biggest difference in my life. And, at some point, you have to make these things, a part of your life. You have to choose to go and seek out the things that, you want to change. Because I can tell you guys a million things. And I want to encourage you guys to start changing in your life little by little. But it's the habits that you'll build. And prayer for me is a big one. So, I hope that this video was value to you, and if you liked it, please like and subscribe and share it with a friend. I always say that the best way to grow is through network. So if you find Kingdom Culture Podcast valuable, go ahead and please share. And I hope that you guys have an amazing day. Don't forget that I love you, but that the Lord loves you more, always, always, always. And we'll see you guys next week.